What's up, everyone? Chris Record here, coming to you from Shopify headquarters in Ottawa, Canada. This is actually the capital. It's a fantastic place in here. Shopify has a huge headquarter presence here. Everybody knows about them. And I'm excited to be sitting down with Adam Malte, who's actually the affiliate manager at Shopify. Invited us out. We also have a chance to be able to meet Harley, who's going to be the COO here at Shopify. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to do a tour. So today's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. But let's take a couple minutes. First of all, I'd like to introduce you. A lot of people haven't met you, the affiliate manager. And so tell us a little about yourself. How long you've been working here? And
so I've been here coming up 4 years, which is crazy. I was employee 200 almost 4 years ago now. And yeah, it's been a crazy ride at Shopify. I've been doing internet marketing like over a decade. You know, I don't come from the tech world, and Shopify gave me the opportunity to build out their affiliate program, and it's been awesome. You know, so we're super excited. You know, we're going to sit down with Harley, and I've seen Chris in the industry for years and years. And when I heard about some of the stuff you guys were doing, you know. And after seeing you for so long in the industry and seeing the potential of a partnership between Techademics and Shopify, I was just, you know, we've been talking about having you guys up for a long time, so I'm excited that we can kind of have you in, talking with the crew, giving the tour and that whole thing today. Right on.
So, okay, so you were employee number
200
out of how many? How many are there now?
I think Harley will say like, it's like 1,800 or 1,900. It's somewhere in that ballpark. 1,700, 1,800. I don't even know, to be honest anymore. But yeah, it's somewhere in that ballpark.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so Shopify's had huge growth. They've grown like 100% per year, right? So
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been working here for 4 years?
Almost 4 years.
So do you know some of their numbers? Like like what kind of volume how many merchants do they have? What kind of total volume have they done?
Yeah, so when I started, I remember, you know, having stuff on the walls of 35,000 customers or 40,000, you know, and against some other competitors, and you know, neck and neck in the industry and stuff. And now, you know, I think it's safe to say over 300,000 merchants and entrepreneurs, you know, and a lot of people, just like people watching this video, coming on every day and seeing, you know, growth and success on Shopify. It's been amazing, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why Ottawa, Canada? Of all the places in the world that Shopify could be, why are they here in this area?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an easy answer from what I understand from being here. Is the CEO, you know, moved to Ottawa and started Shopify in like a Starbucks, you know, with their former CTO back in the day, you know, and it's just, you know, hearing the story even, you know, from way before I even got here, you know, but how they grew from like literally in a coffee shop, and then the growth from that day to all the way to in these offices today is, you know, it's crazy to hear, but it's like that classic startup, you know, success story that everyone loves.
Yeah, working from a Starbucks, and then they start hiring,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, they have like a skyrise building with Shopify. When you're driving through, yeah, they got their brand up on the top of the skyrise. And they were doing like it was just a snowboard store originally, right? And the way I kind of heard the story was that there really was no platform that they could really find that would do it right. And so he just kind of went out and developed his own platform, and then they kind of got better at it. And earlier you and I were talking, I think it was pretty fascinating. Shopify has done extremely well compared to a lot of other people, because a lot of other people put all their focus on features, and Shopify really found a core focus which made them really good. And you were sharing a little bit about that with me.
Yeah, and I think like like I said, I come from an internet marketing background and not a tech, and so when I got here, I really want to say, you know, what was it that made Shopify so successful? And they understood early on that they wanted to create ecosystems from app developers and themes, and a lot of the features, you know, that can be used, they wanted other people to have success in building on Shopify and be able to share in the experience of earning income from building on Shopify. So they built these amazing ecosystems of other developers and companies building on Shopify. And so I quickly realized that they place so much emphasis on just making the core product, the actual cart, so good. And I think some other people in the industry, they want to give every single feature out of the box, but not every single person is going to want every single feature. So to me, it's just a matter of focus on the core reason of why people are coming to us, and focusing on that and trying to make that as smooth and as amazing as possible. And if you project that over years and years, you know, in terms of even just development time, you know, to me, that's one of the big reasons of why Shopify has, you know, been so successful as an e-commerce platform, you know, in the industry.
Yeah, they put all their focus on the cart, which is the e-commerce experience, and then they have this marketplace where all the features are, but they let other people come in and develop those features. So if you can go to Shopify, you can set up a Shopify e-commerce store, and let's say that there's a really cool feature you want, like cart abandonment, where what happens to all these customers that don't complete the checkout process? Well, you guys could put all your energy into being cart abandonment specialists, but instead you've got these third-party apps there in the marketplace that I could literally just go in, connect a third-party app right to my Shopify store, and just like that, I have that feature.
And if you're an app developer, you can build that and sell it on Shopify and make recurring income from selling that app.
Yeah,
which is amazing too.
Yeah, it's powerful. That's one of the things that I love about Shopify is that Shopify is the first actual platform that we've come across where the average person can get results. Earlier I was telling a story about one of my really good friends, so I've known childhood friends since we were like 13 years old, and he was able to, in a matter of 90 days, build a store that's doing 6 figures in revenue. It's like you don't even believe it. It's common. You probably hear that all the time.
Yeah, it's insane. Like so many of my friends in the industry, you know, that were selling on different platforms or different internet marketing models, you know, and I tell people, because I've been an affiliate manager for almost 8 years, and so I come across so many different models and, you know, and see so many different ways of making money online. And honestly, not just because I work at Shopify, like e-commerce is one of the not only a way that you can scale really quick, but it's also the most sustainable, and you can build a real business that you can sell later. Like what other internet marketing model? There's very few that you can actually make money, can scale, and then also build into a legitimate business that you can sell later. Like, you know, like that doesn't happen very often in terms of the models that you can make money online. So, you know, people will say I'm biased because I work at Shopify, but to me, from an internet marketing standpoint, because that's really my passion, you know, e-commerce is just an unbelievable model, you know, and now through guys like yourself, and even in the last couple of years, there's been a lot more education to allow the average individual at home to be able to figure out how to do that, you know, at scale. So it's amazing.
Sure. So, you know, in a nutshell, what I'm looking to give my audience from this trip is I want to give them an experience of, first of all, being able to meet some of the people that work at Shopify, like yourself, being able to give them a tour of Shopify. I want to share with them a little bit more about why they should consider Shopify as a platform to be able to use. And then we're here really looking to establish ourselves, Techademics and Shopify, in a partnership in a way that helps them in a way they've never been helped before. Really be able to get the average new person set up with an e-commerce store actually making money online.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I guess in my point of view internally too at Shopify is we are the platform. And, you know, I have a lot of internal conversations with different people, and the way that the people that become successful using Shopify, they need the education. They need the know-how on how to do that. And we're pushing internally even more than ever to help our merchants become successful through education.
So before we go on this tour, tell us a little bit about this building, because it's funny, every single floor has like a different theme. We're even sitting here in a very themed room. Tell us a little bit about the culture and the building and everything here.
Yeah, it's been amazing. When I got hired, we were in a different building, you know, across the way over there downtown, and we, you know, it was a very fun and had a slide and everything too, and people would draw on the walls and different stuff, and moving into this building, you know, I remember the first day coming in here. You know, I think we have 10 floors, 9 floors, 11 floors, something like that. We've just launched a couple more floors, so I think we're at like 10 or something. And it's amazing. Every floor has a theme, so there's like Scandinavian right now. We're in one that, you know, all the rooms are named after alcoholic drinks, so we're in White Russian right now. There's like highball, old fashioned. We've got electric go-kart track in here, ping pong room. And so, I mean, that really keeps the culture fun. You know, you can work from anywhere, and you know, you'll see, and everyone will see different areas of the office you can work from. But you know, it's a real work hard, play hard environment. You know, people come in here all the time and say, you know, how do people not play ping pong all day or play, you know, foosball all day or whatever? And it's because people, you know, they want to create a culture where people can go play foosball if you need a break. But everyone here is passionate about Shopify and working here. And so they're really here to work hard, but if you want to stay till midnight and play video games, you can do that too. So as we go around, you know, you'll see clips of the office in all those different areas, and it's really an amazing spot to be at. Yeah,
it's kind of like the culture in the Silicon Valley. That's actually where I grew up, was the Bay Area, Silicon Valley in Northern California, where a lot of these technology companies would create a fun environment because it keeps people there. It makes people want to keep coming back. It's not a place they have to go, it's a place they get to go.
Right.
And you guys have done a great job with the culture.
Totally.
So enough talk. Let's go take a tour.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So as you can see, we just took a tour of Shopify headquarters, and it has been amazing. I'm really impressed with what this company has done. They've had astronomical growth. I mean, like 100% growth year after year. They're doing amazing. I think we went through like 8 stories. Every single floor had a different theme. We had so much fun. I'm very, very thankful to the team for taking us out here. And in fact, this was one of my favorite rooms right here because of all the artwork on the back. And believe it or not, they actually used some pencils and then Sharpies to design all this art. This is just one of the many very creative and very original rooms that they have here. Yeah, so I've been doing internet marketing for the past decade. And that's how we're in so many very similar circles. And even with Shopify and Amazon and FBA, I mean, I've been one of the top affiliates on all these big course launches.
Good for you, congratulations.
So just as a promoter, I've also launched my own courses as well. And that's how we kind of got to know each other. Just even as an affiliate, just offering some of my own bonuses and hooking people up with Shopify. I turned up on the radar a couple times for referring people. So Adam's kind of like, hey, if you ever want to go big with this, you know, we'd love to entertain it. And I said, well, wait until next year because I do have a big project coming on. I partner with Jim and basically sunk a bunch of money into a concept which is taking this internet marketing, this experience of teaching people how to make money online, and essentially turning into the way that a school would teach it. The traditional school can't really teach modern, up-to-date stuff. I mean, you know, you're very, you're well-schooled. You can't teach like what's going on with Facebook, what's going on with Facebook advertising, exactly how to monetize stuff, Shopify. Traditional colleges aren't going to teach this stuff, or if they are, they're going to teach it 3 years behind or 5 years behind. So really, you have to go out to this guru world, you know, the people like you're familiar probably with, like the Ezra Firestones, the Adrian Morrisons, these kind of people, and myself and these guys. So we're all out there in the guru world.
That's a good group to be in. Adrian and Ezra are just amazing.
Yeah, I just got back from Adrian's brother's wedding, Anthony Morrison's wedding.
Oh, you guys are close. Nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
we're all good friends.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so that whole network that you're familiar with, I'm right there with all those guys in that network.
You guys are just the most entrepreneurial, successful people I've ever met.
Yeah,
I mean, I see some of these numbers, and it's just
cruising, riding.
It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It's awesome.
We just did our launch. We just did like $6 million for our launch for our Techademics. These launches, like it never was possible to do these kind of numbers before this fast.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said, how the pie is getting bigger. It is really kind of getting bigger for us as well. So what happened was we really look, and all these gurus were doing all these launches. Well, the problem is that these launches are all over the place, and so somebody might do a Shopify launch, and then the very next week. That launch kind of comes and spikes, and then it kind of just dies off, okay? And it's not really evergreen. The very next week, someone might come along and do an Amazon FBA launch, teaching people, hey, the real secret is to ship your products to Amazon, feature them on Amazon. What happens is you just got all these customers that just spent, whatever, $1,000 on this course. Now they're confused because, oh, now the secret's Amazon. And then as soon as they're done with that, the real secret is WordPress, self-hosted, do it all yourself. Not Shopify. Shopify's got a monthly fee. Why would you want to do that?
Do it for free.
Do it for free. So what happens is it creates a lot of confusion in the marketplace, and then somebody comes along and says, none of that, do all free marketing on social media. And so And it works because people just keep buying. And the gurus profit from it regardless because they don't have a vested interest in the person's success anyways. So the gurus really benefit from the purchase of the course. So we kind of looked at that and just said, we think that there's room for a hybrid model that essentially takes the guru education, the seminar style. That's the only current place to get up-to-date information. If somebody wants to learn how to do Facebook advertising, you got to go to some sort of a guru to really learn modern, up-to-date stuff. So that we're going to take this guru education, but kind of give it the way that it would be taught in school, give it structure. So what I did was I went to Jim Piccolo, who has a background in this. I moved actually to Arizona where he lives. Jim is connected, and I'll let him speak, but he's connected with PhDs, curriculum developers. He was mentored by the founder of the University of Phoenix. Big kind of educational background.
Those guys have done well.
They've done incredibly well.
Yeah, maybe now, but
they did well.
At least.
Yeah. And they
really great.
And the thing was, I said, okay, let's bring structure. I said, if we can take what everybody's doing out there, teaching all these modern, up-to-date strategies on how to be able to build your own business, grow your business online, scale your business, even topics such as e-commerce and Shopify, just that topic alone is so strong. If we were to take it, teach it the way that a school would teach it, but more up-to-date without the bureaucratic red tape of having to, that they have to go through, then we would have perhaps the best, most structured education on the planet when it comes to these topics. And so Jim was the best person I knew in the world to do that. We partnered up and we formed a company called Techademics, which is essentially like a school, it's tech and academics combined. It's essentially like a school for entrepreneurs, teaching them a variety of topics, whether it's e-commerce, Facebook advertising, media buying, social media marketing, search engine optimization, a series of skills that they can actually use in the real world, either as an entrepreneur, maybe create their own agency, possibly even just go get hired for a business, If I took a customer, let's say we have In-N-Out Burger in Arizona. It's a very popular burger joint.
11.
Yeah, 11. So 11.
I like the, what's it called? The
Animal style?
Animal style.
Animal style. So take In-N-Out Burger, great place. $11 an hour, they have no problem hiring people, right? Take that same $11 an hour kid who served me that burger there, that person has the potential of getting educated and learning some skills such as Facebook advertising and even e-commerce store setup. And now you take that same person can now go apply for a job at really almost any business down here on the Strip and be getting paid $60,000 a year instead of $11 an hour. And it's because, and the thing is they can't really learn that in school. Right? And these gurus aren't really teaching people to go out and get skills to sharpen their portfolio. They're more teaching entrepreneurs, hey, look at all this money you could make yourself. We've really we're taking it in a structured approach. We're really teaching solid, applicable tips, and we're giving them a course of action. Here's how to go start up your own agency, or here's how to go out there and sharpen up your resume and go get a higher paying job. We're really kind of doing that. So
I love that. I love that. I think also the thing that you touch on, which is super important that I think about is, I think that this concept of, it's something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, and I've been talking about internally here, but this concept of life's work, that for most people, they work their entire lives to eventually retire and go do their life's work, right? And I think what's different in 2016 is that people can actually commercialize their hobby during their life, right? Exactly. So I was like, you hear these stories of this woman or this guy who's working at some big company, the IBM or something like that, and they come home every day at 5 o'clock and they go into their workshop, or they go to their kitchen table and they make jewelry there, or they go to their workshop and they make these beautiful toys for children, these wooden toys. And I think historically these people would basically say, look, that's my hobby, and my job is where I get my pension and all those different things. And I think what's actually flipping right now is that they're saying, wait a second, I'm actually going to commercialize my hobby. Number one, I can make way more money ever if I focus on these rocking chairs or in this jewelry. And second of all, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 just so I can eventually retire and go do what I love doing. I want to do that right now. And I think if you guys can encourage, first of all, on the aspirational side, the inspiration side, if you can inspire them to say, maybe I should be commercializing my hobby, and then you give them the tools, like here are 10 steps on how to actually do that in a way that isn't this, you're not just smacking them in the face with a curriculum, but actually teaching them properly through a structured process of here's what you should be doing first and here's what you do second. I think that's
bingo.
Amazing.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. There's gurus, and these guys are fantastic. I mean, they teach with passion. They love what they do. Chris gets up there, and he doesn't feed them just a little drink. He gives them the fire hose approach. The challenge is, and you went to school 8 years to get your Juris Doctorate. The challenge is university is very successful. They know how to teach a human being, and they know how to create that human being into whatever they desire to be through retention. It's a science. Learning is a science. And then you have the gurus over here that are fantastic at their information, but they don't quite know how to organize in a fashion where there's a baseline and all that. There's a science called ISD, Instructional Systems Design. So when you went to school, you walk into an economics 101 class and you take a look at the textbook and you go, wow, the guy on the textbook that wrote the textbook isn't the guy teaching the class. Well, that's right. The guy that designed the textbook took a subject matter expert and said, okay, this is everything you need to know about economics in the 101, and let's put together a curriculum, let's put together a syllabus, let's organize this using ISD, and then let's take an individual that goes to school and gets a teaching certificate that learns how to teach, and let's have them disseminate the information and teach it. Well, in the guru space, you have that educator. But they don't quite know how to do it.
Right.
I mean, Tony Robbins is fantastic. I love Tony. He gets up there and he does his thing and everybody gets motivated. We get all excited, we get fired up, motivated. We walk out into the street, we go, that was awesome. But what did he say?
Right.
And the challenge is they don't deploy the education in the proper fashion so that the human mind can retain it. So what we did a decade back in the real estate space is we kind of figured that out. We took all these subject matter experts and we said, okay, give us your content, give us your content. Then we passed that to a PhD or somebody that's got a master's in instructional systems and design. We said, organize that. And they put it in a fashion with the baseline, and then they build the complexity with repetition. Repetition is the mother of retention. And they just build that into a curriculum where the guru now can deliver it in a different fashion, dramatically increases the retention. Dramatically increases retention. So taking gurus, people that Chris knows, and all the individuals in the space, and saying, give us your content, let us kind of rearrange it a little bit, and then we'll put it together in an organized fashion. So what you said was real critical, because the guy that has that wooden tool for a child is passionate about his woodworking skills and makes this really beautiful tool. But he might not know enough about it, maybe legal, to put a structure together. He might not know about human resources. He might not know about fulfillment. So what we do, Harley, is we say there's a core competency, but on the front end there's foundations. There's certain things you need to know to be successful. I mean, your toy's gonna be great, but what about the front end? And then of course the tactical on the back end. How are you gonna execute? You have the foundational information, you've got this wonderful product, now let's execute. And like Chris says, if it's an agency, we want to teach you how to sell. We want to teach you how to put together a winning presentation. We want to teach you how to go out and take that core competency, whether it's e-commerce or whether it's SEO or whether it's Facebook ads, whatever it is, go out there and be successful. So our secret sauce is twofold. It's the ISD, taking that applied science of learning to the subject matter expert, very important for the core competency, and then adding classes pre and post that helps them with a good foundation so they can kind of do what they have to do, which nobody wants to do. You don't want to do the accounting, you want to do the legal, but you have to. And then the tactical side and launch it. On top of that, one of the things we're most excited about and why we're kind of here to explore a little bit is we came up with the concept of an incubator. Kind of like a tech incubator. Guy's got a really good app and he goes to this incubator, has access to programmers and legal and all the things that makes his app work. We're doing the same thing with e-commerce. We're going to put together an incubator physical location where people can come from 8 to 5 and they can sit there and they can choose their product, they can build their website, they can put up their ads, they can do all the things. And if they have a problem,
they raise their hand and they say, hey,
teacher,
I need some help.
Come over here.
Right.
So we are going to hire experts in the industry
Fantastic.
that are going to constantly circulate amongst these students, a very select group at first, beta, probably 30 of them started in February, and we're going to incubate them to success. 6 weeks is what our planned curriculum. So it's a sprint.
Right.
Come here 8 to 5 or 8 to whenever you want to leave. Hang out in a real open environment. Rising tide raises all ships. Let's mastermind. Let's best practice. Let's share. And we're going to have the expert. You need help. Let's go. So that's kind of what we're excited about.
I love that because frankly,
that's evergreen. That'll go.
That's exactly right. What I like about that also is entrepreneurship tends to be a bit of a lonely sport. Very true. Any good entrepreneur knows about those sleepless nights where you're up and everyone else is sleeping in the house, or those early mornings where you're in the office by yourself having that first coffee.
Or no
by
office.
creating, that's right, no office. You're walking in the street.
Starbucks.
That's right, Starbucks, or before Starbucks even opens. But I think the fact that you actually bringing a community around it and creating a bit of a tribe, around it.
Exactly.
I think that creates incredible. And what's nice about e-commerce as opposed to traditional retail is it's not actually competitive. So you can set up 2 different stores, both selling different hats.
Exactly.
And it doesn't really matter, right?
Exactly.
one takes one geography, the other takes another, or one focuses on this type of demographic, another on the other. You're not just limited by geography in the same way you would be in a brick and mortar context, where you don't want to actually incubate two stores in the same street because maybe they compete with each other. Right?
Exactly.
So I think what you're saying on the incubation side makes a lot of sense. In fact, we have 300,000 merchants that are successful on Shopify, and we can actually, if it's helpful, we can help you also provide some maybe guest speakers or people dropping in and says, hey, like I'm in town for the day. I'd love to come spend time with people that are kind of going through what I went through a couple of years ago.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And we'd be happy to do stuff like that.
But
I love it. I also feel that, I said earlier that entrepreneurship is, the connotation of it, I think, has become a lot more positive. It's a lot more something that people aspire to be. And I think that's very different than it was decades in the past. You became an entrepreneur when you couldn't do anything else. And I think now...
It's a recognized profession.
That's exactly right. It's something that, and it's respected by peers and by your family and your friends. So now that people actually want to be entrepreneurs, I think that if you guys can reduce the learning cycle, the time you need, basically the life cycle to become an entrepreneur, and you can reduce it to best practices and to these are the core takeaways you need to know, and forget all the noise, because these are the things that are most important. You create this business creation catalyst that I think is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I think that's our goal. Our goal is to shorten the learning curve, to give it more structure, to give it less of this shiny object syndrome of confusion. What should I do next? Should I just go buy this, buy this, buy this? And to give people a course, a path. And that's why we like Shopify. We like Shopify. The reason we're out here even in the first place is because there's a lot of options when it comes to e-commerce. Shopify has done a lot of that simplification, a lot of that. If you were going to choose one thing and really focus on it, Shopify has enough of a marketplace, has enough going on that Shopify is essentially, and this will be good feedback for you, is that it's almost synonymous with the word e-commerce out in the field where we're teaching. So if I was to tell somebody, hey, I've got an e-commerce class or a Shopify class, it is almost the same thing to them.
Yeah, we worked very hard to get that ubiquity. In fact, last year more people searched for Shopify on Google in the United States than they did search for e-commerce.
Wow,
that's a big deal for us. But that ubiquity is something that that's exactly, we've really worked hard to do that. So that means a lot to me.
Yeah. So why Shopify? Aside from that, the big reason why Shopify, and it's really an emotional reason for me, is I've promoted a lot of affiliate offers. I've promoted a lot of products, a lot of launches, a lot of softwares, things with a lot of monthly fees. There's some good, actually, great ones. Shopify to date has created more success stories, actual, real, average people, not like, someone like me or Adrian Morrison or any of us, we can actually kind of go succeed on another platform. Sure. You kind of, once you get to a point, you kind of know how success works, you can make it work. But I'll tell you a quick story is my friend George Bailey. I've known George, we grew up skateboarding. We're part of that skateboarding, 90s skateboarding generation, which is why I'm familiar with boosted boards too. Oh, nice. We grew up skateboarding, sponsored by Santa Cruz Skateboards, awesome. Just young punk kids, raised by single moms, broke, welfare kids.
Tony Hawk posters on the wall.
Yeah, Tony Hawk posters. Just these broke kids growing up. And I kind of excelled in entrepreneurship and all these different things. And he kind of was always kind of there wondering wow, I can't be like you, Chris. You're like that. Well, earlier this year, he came to an event, and basically we were teaching Shopify, and he's like, you know what, this is the kind of thing that I could do. Now, this was just a few months ago. And he went to my other friend, Seth. These are like my best friends. So this is not like one of those case studies where it's like, some random mom from whatever.
These are your homies from
These are the homies. Yeah, these are the actual homies that have not had success in anything else. This was just 3-4 months ago, okay? They teamed up together to do a Shopify store because George didn't feel comfortable with Facebook advertising, but he felt comfortable with the whole product part. So he teamed up, my two buddies that we just hang out all the time. And in 90 days with their Shopify store, they got to a point where they're selling over $100,000 a month in 90 days from nothing. It's unbelievable. It's not the story would be just as good if I said they're selling $2,000-3,000 a month.
No, I know. But it's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
And I suspect his life is completely changed now, right? Everything's different for this guy.
Yeah. It's not like they're just throwing money around because it's all profit. But it's the belief, the confidence, the entrepreneurship. He's sitting there he had this whole other direction of job security that he was really concerned with. Now he kind of feels wow, now they're sitting there talking about how to get better prices, how to be able to get better products. Now talking about ordering in bulk and even going to and doing all the fulfillment themselves.
Tweaking things and making sure. But that's basically the history of this business. This business started as we were trying to sell snowboards on the internet. back in 2004. And in 2004, you either had to spend $1 million to have some custom e-commerce site built for you, which was super complicated. And if you wanted to change it, it would take 6 weeks to call on a service call, or you were forced to use a marketplace, which allowed you to sell things. I mean, eBay would allow you to sell things, but you didn't build your own brand. And so we wrote this piece of software to sell these snowboards originally, simply because we didn't feel there were any good products in the market. And we realized that what if we gave entrepreneurs and SMBs the same tools that traditionally only the biggest companies can afford? But what if we made it super easy to use? So if you want to change your hero image for the season, for the holidays, that should take you 5 seconds. It should be as easy as sending an email, right? What if we sort of change all those things? And that's been what we've been working on for the last decade or so, is this democratization of e-commerce for SMBs, so that guys like that can start a business without actually having to spend a ton of money, having to go and take a loan out of the bank. And the beauty of it is now he can sell to a global audience. And frankly, he's probably going to start a bunch of new businesses as well because of his success with that first one. Right now, he's got this great confidence. He's got this great cadence of entrepreneurship, and I think that's what we give a shit about.
So out of everything I've promoted, Shopify has had the best. I did have some success with Amazon FBA, but it was a little bit more of an upper tier of taking things serious with Amazon. With Shopify, it was a little bit easier. It was easier for an average beginner to be able to get involved.
So it's very simple. So the way to look at it is something like an Amazon fulfillment, for example, is like a 1 to N. You've started something, now you need to scale it. A Shopify is 0 to 1. And that's a big difference, right? Basically, you're starting from nothing and creating something. Yeah. And after that, you can scale if you sort of want. But a lot of these other things are sort of 1 to N. And you're right. You said earlier there are some free products out there. Every CMS, every blog platform in the world now has an e-commerce widget that fits into it. Mm-hmm. The problem with those is, and we've seen this time and time again, is that just by adding a widget to your blog doesn't mean you actually have a business, because those consider inventory management or analytics or reporting or financial data or marketing, and are all these different campaigns you need to be running. And so I think some of these free tools expose people. It's almost like a teaser into building your first business. The problem is it doesn't scale very well. And so the idea with Shopify was, what if we built something that was easy to use for the smallest of merchants just getting started? But even if you were Procter & Gamble or your GE or your Drake or Kanye West, you can still use Shopify because it scales. And that's really what we've done, where you can kind of go from cradle to scale and you never have to leave the platform. Mm-hmm. And that was very deliberate, and that took a lot of time, but that's really that's where we're at right now with this.
So where we're at is we've launched our company. Our pre-launch was very successful. Then we opened up in September. We opened up just last month, our free membership level. So we essentially have a free membership level where people can come in and start getting educated.
They get emails and
they start getting on our email list, stuff like that. They actually become members of our community.
Value, yeah.
A lot of education, like for free. We're giving away for free what most people charge thousands of dollars for. Wow. It's given us that.
That's democratizing.
Yeah, it's that. Well, that's the free train is kind of the
you guys are
where people are at.
The traditional model.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So we go from free, and then we have products ranging from $100 to $2,000 to $10,000 in a wide range like that. What we would like to do, and one of the reasons we're out here, is that what we're looking to do is, we're looking to have e-commerce be a major, one of our big pillars of what we teach. And when I say e-commerce, it's synonymous with Shopify. Having it be Shopify, setting up new members that come in, setting them up with Shopify accounts, putting them through, beginning with a free Shopify course, which is a foundational course, very just structured basic foundation, and then getting them into our paid courses. Of course, we would like them as paid members of our community, where they actually learn the step-by-step store setup, marketing, creation, advertising, everything and stuff like that. And so we right now our free membership line is growing to the tune of tens of thousands per week. So we're having great numbers right off the bat. It's not like 100% of them are just going to be Shopify members, but we are fairly optimistic that this would be a large account. I would venture to say we'd like to be your largest referral source in the affiliate side.
I'd love that too. Yeah, that'd be great.
We'd also like to have Shopify be our exclusive incubator.
Yeah. Well, frankly, I mean, I said this to Adam before when he mentioned, so Adam didn't mention an incubator, but he kind of gave me a little bit of like, he gave me some ideas of what you guys were thinking. And, we may also consider, once this gets up and running, maybe we help sponsor that incubator, right? Mm-hmm. And so if everyone is there working on Shopify stores, not only can we probably bring in some of our best merchants to kind of talk to them and inspire them, but also give them some of their tips as well. I mean, you guys do a good job on the education stuff, but really more of like, here's Boosted Boards and here's what they've built, right? Sure. But maybe we can also help, maybe there's Shopify scholarships or something like that we can help with. Yeah, so all that stuff is on the table. What can we do in the immediate future to make this partnership better and make it as successful as possible?
Well, in the immediate future, we'd like to establish a partnership with you where it's not just a traditional affiliate partnership relationship, like where we just give us an affiliate code, we'll just shoot you guys some business. We want it to be, we're looking for structure. We're not looking to just throw people your way and hope that they succeed or something. What we are not is we are not spiky product launches. I've done that before. It's great, it looks great, and then you just don't have that sustainability.
It's short term.
It's short term.
Attrition is big. I absolutely agree with that. Look, I'm sitting here today, and unfortunately for me, Adam really managed my time really well. But the reason I'm sitting here is because Adam really believes that you guys are different than our other affiliates and our other partners. He believes there's something dramatically different about your proposition, what you're kind of doing here. Even talking to you and kind of understanding the way you think about things. You guys are trying to build something for the next couple of decades, not the next 10 months.
Yeah, brick and mortar
right?
school.
That's exactly right. Old school, but something that is consistent and long lasting. Yeah. That's what we want to do as well. So, let me know how I can be most helpful. But I agree. We want more than just a superficial relationship with our partners. We want to have a real commitment that we all agree that we'll go here and you'll go here and we'll kind of meet in the middle. But it's important that, for me at least, the way that I like to work is I like to kind of date before I marry, and so. We use a concept internally called the trust battery, where most people that walk into Shopify start at 50% trust, and the goal is to get to 100% trust battery as fast as possible, because once they do, that's when the good stuff happens. Adam probably pushes you guys above the 50% mark because he vouches for you. But I would say that the way to really work best with us is show us early wins, show us consistency. If you say you're going to do something, do it, and we're not more complicated than that.
Under promise and over deliver.
That's right. That's right. And once you do that, that's when we can get to that 100% trust battery, and that's where you guys can basically say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I know you don't offer that, but I'd like to convince you to do that sort of stuff instead. And
just the other day, I was cruising down the street in my 6'8", convertible dropped, on my way to the BizZank. I opened up my app to get the scoop. Another girl bought a custom pair of shoes. A car pulls up, who can it be? A fresh Rolls Royce with a real OG. He rolled down his window and he started to say,
you need a Shopify mentor to up your game. Cause the store's on the web, but what we make, we keep running the maths, we keep killing the game. Knowing nothing in life but the way to get paid. You could quote me, boy, here's the link to my page.
Hold up, Adrian's in the place to set the pace. 5 million on his stall is killing the game. When the money's flowing, it's pouring like rain. Showing entrepreneurs how to get paid. Man, his webinar 7 is about to be live. Teaching everybody how it's Shopify. Business is viral in New York to Cali. Cash flow on auto, drop ship from Alley. First you find a product and match it up with an audience, and keep the traffic flowing so you can rack up them profits. All about the right targeting for your marketing. Flex. Intersecting interests are the best. Now I really have to start up my stove, so let me pass a microphone to Sir Video, and he can let you know about how we make bank, and you can kick it with us later, just don't hesitate.
Cause the store's on the web, but what we make, we keep running the maths, we keep killing the game. Knowing nothing in life but the way to get paid. You could quote me, boy, here's the link to my page.
Just the other day when I was bored as hell and I had time to kill, yo, I went to a place where my homeboys chill. The fellas out there were stacking De Niro. I rolled up in my 6'8" Camaro. They greet me with an iPhone and I started thinking the traffic from Insta my store could be getting. I'm ready, I need to scale my business real bad. You see, I've had a couple sales, but the rest have abandoned. Just the other day, I placed my very first ad. A couple minutes later, some haters had done flagged it. They did something that I couldn't believe. My ads account got banned, I barely could breathe. Then my chest started pounding, my knees started shaking. I thought it would be easy, big money I'd be making. I check it for a second, then break it, and for the record, I recognize importance of having a Shopify mentor.
Cause the store's on the web, but what we make, we keep running the maths, we keep killing the game. Knowing nothing in life but the way to get paid. You could quote me, boy, here's the link to my page.